What's up, guys? Welcome to Forgemaster Metal Reviews. I'm here in lovely Portland, Maine to check out Fires in the Distance at Gino's Rock Club. Let's do it. So I'm here with Christian from Fires in the Distance. What's up, man?
Pleasure to be here, man. How are you?
I am fantastic. Super excited that you're here. Thank you so much for taking the time. I asked you to pick your favorite fall metal records.
Yes.
Let's kick it off with your first one.
I think my very first one would be the Typo Negative album, October Rust. Every time I hear that album, it reminds me of fall.
Yeah.
And October is fall as far as I'm concerned, you know. The beautiful leaves, and I think that album just symbolizes everything that fall means to me.
Yeah,
so,
and you know, it's funny, I hear a lot of Typo Negative influence in you guys' music. Mm-hmm. You know, not just the keyboard. Keyboards are obvious, but you know, even in the compositions, like the long, drawn-out sections. Mm-hmm. Would you say that, like, October Rust is a pretty big piece of your writing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Definitely, I would even say as far as, like, Wisdom of the Falling Leaves. That song has a lot of symbolism to it, but that song is very Typo Negative inspired, that's for sure.
Air Not Meant for Us, new record that just came out, super exciting, congratulations. It's been extremely well received by the metal community. Melodic Doom, it's sort of a hard sell. Not a lot of people get into it, but what I think is interesting is your record blew the fuck up.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that, and how does it feel to have such a huge response for what I would call a difficult sell metal genre?
It's honestly unbelievable for us. When we were recording, you know, Air Not Meant for Us, we were doing the work in the studio, we knew that we had something special, and we were really trying to, I guess, find exactly what our sound was, because we knew where we were going when we came out with Echoes. We knew that was our sound, but then we really kind of had to fine tune it. But, you know, Igor put so much effort and time into coming up with the song structures and the names and just the way that they were laid out, because it's not just like some albums are where you have one song and another song and they sometimes don't always flow. These songs flow for a reason. Title track is Harbingers for a reason. The ending track is Idiopathic Despair for a reason. Because it all kind of tells a story, so in a way it's kind of like a concept album, but to have it be received the way that it's been by the fans, not just like in the US but all over the world, is mind-blowing, honestly. I mean, it means so much to us that people can relate to the album, because that's what a lot of our fans are telling us, that it's relatable. They feel what we feel. When we got in some of these articles online, and I think Yardbarker had one that they put us up with like the top 25 best metal albums of the 21st century, that we were like, come on, man, like this is no way, someone's playing a joke, man, you know, because like we've only been doing this for like 6 years as a band, you know, like we've been musicians way longer, but that's the best gift you could ever ask for as a musician, trying to just get anywhere with it, just playing what you love, writing music from the heart, and your audience is understanding it and they're feeling it. To be able to just see the fans and just read the messages and talk with them, and just like from all over the US, and even when we were up in Montreal, it was just, it's fucking unbelievable, man.
Yeah,
so.
And it's well deserved, dude, honestly. You guys are clearly working super hard. I see your name on so many different little shows and stuff.
Crazy, man.
It's crazy, and you know, the hard work does not go unnoticed.
Oh.
And I think the fans are really into it and can't wait for you to come and visit. You guys are kicking off this tour for the fall. Yep. I imagine you're gonna throw on some more fall records, right? So what's your next pick?
Next pick would be, for number 2, would be the Opeth album, My Arms Rehearse. for sure.
Underrated as hell.
Yes, it is. That album to me, I've been into Opeth since I was a teenager, early teens, like 14. And when I heard that album, it was one of the albums that really got me into them. I heard Still Life, and that kind of just like locked it in. And that is still one of my favorite Opeth albums to this day. But for Fall, because of the song Demon of the Fall, that's in there too.
Yeah.
You know, and that song's so fucking evil. The drums in that album sound huge.
Yeah, they do.
And it's a very, you know, I know Opeth always, I think they used to at least, but they would consider themselves like almost black metal. And that is a very black metal sounding album if you really like listen to it. It reminds me of the fall. I think, you know, I would just listen to that a lot driving in the fall, and you know, my mood changes with the sun. You know, when the sun isn't, the days aren't as light. You just start putting on, I get into like certain very specific albums.
Yeah, that's a perfect pick. And you know, it's funny, like I love hearing Opeth's fans' favorite records because they're so different. And for me, it's Blackwater Park will always be my favorite.
Awesome, yeah.
But like, you know, I could totally see why My Arms Your Hearse is. That's a very cinematic, probably their most evil sounding record in my opinion.
I would agree, yeah.
That's a perfect pick, dude. The piano compositions in particular on the record, they're phenomenal. They add a ton of atmosphere and they really make you feel what you guys are doing. And one big thing that you guys do that I love is you're not afraid to explore with those melodic things these heavy, syncopated, ballsy ass riffs. How do you guys approach writing such complex parts? You got this crazy soaring melodies with these heavy ass rhythms.
That's probably like a really good question for Igor on that, because he really does write the majority of our music. But I can tell you just from, you know, meeting with him and going over stuff, and while he's in the process of it, really Fires was always kind of meant to be more piano and keyboard and like driven more so than even the guitars. There's like a fine balancing act between the beauty of the piano and the brutality of the guitars, and they work, and we either try to, you know, play within the same key or harmonize while doing some really heavy chunky rhythms and stuff like that. And we do that just because it is a nice touch to put the keys in there, to put the pianos in there. It's, some people call it like dream keys, some people call it like we've had a few people say it sounds like water driplets. It all is part of the atmosphere. The piano parts are originally written by him on a synth, and then once in the recording process, Randy Sly actually, he did a lot of the orchestral composition on this album.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, actually I think he did. Him and Igor co-wrote it, but Randy redid all of the orchestral part with his live orchestra. There's real cellos, real violins, real grand piano.
That is amazing.
So it's actually really him or his, you know, people. It starts off as a synth and then eventually goes on to him. And he had reached out to us and just told us, hey man, I love Echoes from Deep November, and you know, would you be interested in doing some stuff? And you know, Igor was like, yeah. So he'll even add a little bit more. Like we'll give him what, you know, we want it to sound like, and then he'll say, okay. Then he'll just add a couple little parts, but even those little parts just add so much to the atmosphere, you know?
Yeah. I think you guys kind of captured lightning in a bottle with this record, with that meeting this like brutal death metal composition.
Yeah.
You know, it's just such a cool, I've heard a lot of bands try it and you guys just take it to a whole different level. Third fall metal record, what's your pick?
So I'd have to say that it's the Wolfheart Winterborn album. I listened to it. I think I'm kind of just getting ready for winter, so I put that on, especially Ruda Part 2, that song with the beautiful cello part. I will like literally repeat that song over and over and over again. I love that song so much. And I had gotten into Wolfheart maybe about 10 years ago. I just like, I'm still crazy obsessed with him.
Would you say that that's a vocal influence for you? Because you kind of sound like him in a lot of ways.
Yes, he is definitely, he's one of my influences. You know, Peter Tagrin's an influence as well. Michael Ackerfeld's probably one of my biggest in terms of like the death metal growling. Yeah. Steve Tucker, you know, Morbid Angel, I'm a big Morbid Angel fan. The stuff that he's on, even the stuff David Vincent was on. But I try to kind of combine all what I like and, you know, try to find my own sound. And so far, I think it's, you know, it's working out pretty well.
You guys are touring like crazy, playing all over New England. You guys are hitting the Midwest.
We have been really working hard doing the one-off shows, some of the weekend shows like we're doing right now, just to get out there, hammering it, and just keep on playing and getting the music out there, meeting the fans. And you know, after that, we'll probably start working on album number 3 or coming up with ideas, which Igor, I think, has something going on, one song for now, but I don't know too much more
never
than
ends,
that.
right?
No, never ends, man. And then, you know, we just sit and practice and practice. And I can tell you probably the first month after we get back, I'll probably not play guitar for a little bit and just, you know, work on my house or something. But other than that, I'm just going to be working on the new music. It never ends. It's always going on up here all the time.
Last fall record.
My last and final one would be Emperor, Prometheus, the Discipline of Fire and Demise. That album, I think it's also extremely underrated too.
It is.
The guitar parts in that, the harmonies are so out there. I'm still like trying to figure out what the hell he's doing, especially in like Empty. It just reminds me of fall just because I picked up that album when I was, I want to say my freshman year in college, and I played it with one of my best friends, and it was right about October. It was right around that time of year. It just reminds me of the time, and I think it's just the way Emperor writes, how dark their music is. It just reminds me of the leaves coming down. It just reminds me of like the end where the fall is almost about to transition into winter. The leaves are all dead, and it's just like going to like the dead season, you know, winter.
It's such a killer record, man, because people don't talk about that record enough.
They don't. You never hear it. I've seen Emperor years ago, you know, 2006 when they came to BB King's, and in 2008 again, same place, BB King's, New York, and they played The Tongue of Fire. Both times I saw them, it was the only song they played off of that. And that's a really good song, but there's so many other amazing songs that you just don't touch, you know, and I think he used primarily 7 strings on that album too, which I don't think he really does much with 7 strings, you know, anymore. That album is for Emperor was a different album, and it's probably one of my favorite Emperor albums, honestly.
So we're at the end, man. If you have any plugs, shout outs, things like that, anything you want to say to the community, go for it.
I want to thank all of our fans from the bottom of my heart. I know my fellow bandmates as well would like to thank you. We cannot wait to get out and on this tour and just play our asses off for you guys. Come say hi, come up to the booth, you know, shake our hands, get to know us. We're people no different than you and anybody else, and we got some, you know, merchandise, some cool new stuff you haven't seen yet, vinyls, CDs, everything like that. Keep on supporting the melodic death doom in every form of underground metal there is, because without you, there wouldn't be anything. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much for watching. Melodic death doom is the best. See you guys next time.
See ya.